The mystery of Dr. Dekker and his supernatural patients and Cthulhu continues.
At midnight each day.
On Valentine's night.
Time as you know it freezes.
20 minutes past 10.
Keep up, Doctor.
Thinks we're going to smother her in her sleep.
I'm a grave digger, Doctor.
I was at home,
David is my husband.
all on my lonesome.
Stabbed him with a steak knife.
Nothing changes.
I'm a qualified angel of death when I'm dancing.
You get this day over and over,
Hilda,
I black out,
I don't think she's got long.
and Laurie just,
naked on the beach.
Hannah.
Is that it for today?
David hunts,
I can change my skin.
then skins.
Dr. Dekker dated his patients.
I had a hot date
We went out for drinks.
I took photos of Jessica.
Dr. Dekker did
on
phone
Valentine's Day.
and ask me for Nathan's number.
There was a girl there.
Am I wrong to keep the locket?
I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't I?
He was preoccupied with finding
Photographs,
patterns.
rocking chair.
I haven't been back to the beach since,
I had a bit of a shaky loop incident.
where I find something
I set fire
beautiful in the sea.
to Hannah's clothes in the garden.
I dug the grave.
I wish I'd said goodbye.
Dr. Dekker cursed me.
It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it.
Gasp. Alright. One thing I wanted to see, actually. Do I have subtitles always on? Okay. They just don't show during that video. Got it.
At midnight.
David hunts.
I can change my skin.
Okay. Onward then. So Jaya is our assistant. Bryce is a creepy pervert who gets an extra hour every day where time freezes. Claire is seeing a small child appear at a lake where her parents died and where she stabbed her husband. Ellen can shapeshift and steals valuables from the dead by impersonating their loved ones. Mariana is some sort of a siren of the sea. I don't know what's going on with that. And Nathan is stuck in a Groundhog's Day loop. Alright.
I'm fine. I'm ready for my grief counselling. I emailed you Mariana's address. I don't know why you'd want it. I suppose you're going to start doing home visits now, like Dr. Dekker?
Oh, right. We also got some new evidence. An arrest report and a crime scene report. Let's look at those real quick. At 20:40 hours on the 8th of November, received from a neighbor. So neighbor's a good question. Blood, steak knife, dead man, husband, murder are all good question points for her once we get over to that character again. That was Claire. Under arrest on suspicion of murder. Okay. And then crime scene report for Claire's murder. He was in his office, soaked in blood, a paper spike protruding from his heart. Okay. Punctuation of the coronary artery. Okay. That'd be pretty much immediate. You know what? Actually, let's go to Claire. Let's ask Claire what's going on. Neighbor.
My neighbors seem far more interested in my business than they are their own. The lake house only has one house opposite, and it was on sale for some time. I suppose I should have bought it.
Why would you have bought it? What? What? Okay, how about bloody knife? Knife. Blood.
It's a messy business, stabbing someone. You'd imagine that it would be like slicing into a pie with all the filling just slowly oozing out, but it's
No,
so
you
much more
wouldn't.
dramatic, like popping a cork of a bottle of champagne. Blood sprayed everywhere.
Great. Is his name David? Okay. Office. Chair. Heart?
He was stabbed in the heart. Then I'd say whoever killed him didn't want to leave any room for error.
What is this crime scene for? Oh, that was Dr. Dekker. He was stabbed in the heart, not her husband. Got it. Steak knife, I think is what I'm looking for. Let me see.
The steak knife was the closest, sharpest weapon I could lay my hands on. I didn't really have much time to think about it.
Why did you stab your husband?
David wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore.
Oh, right, because she got him
knows it.
cheating, I think. Oh, fuck. Sorry.
David wanted to have a talk about our relationship.
I clicked on the screen.
Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody. I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it. So
yeah.
I fixed him.
I'm sorry, you what?
It was about a week later.
I'm sorry, what?
I brought David back to life.
You what?
Not with voodoo, not with virginal sacrifice. I just willed it to happen, and it did. Dr. Dekker told me it was possible, but only if you're not buried. He says once you're in the ground, there's no coming back. But until then,
What about
you have a
cremated?
chance at resurrection.
Right, so are you a vampire, or... I have questions.
Yes, resurrection. But now that I've seen the results, I don't think there's anything holy about it. I think reanimation is more an accurate term. Like, I'm an evil necromancer raising things from the dead.
Your next D&D campaign should have an interview like this with the necromancer.
David was dazed and confused when I brought him back to life, as you'd expect. He was scared. He didn't want me to go near him at first, which is understandable, as I did kill him. But I didn't really succeed in bringing him back. He wasn't a big talker before, but even monosyllabic words were more than what he seemed able to give me.
Zombie?
Yes, he did come back to life, but he's not a zombie. He looks like he always did. Just his mind is encumbered. There's no way back.
Encumbered. What about Iris?
It didn't happen. Dr. Dekker called me from his house to cancel. He was furious.
What?
He said that Iris had escaped, and he blamed me for it. He said that I must have set her free after he told me about her. I knew it was all lies anyways. He was obviously titillating himself by reprimanding me. He knew I'd never want to speak to Iris again, so I couldn't prove it either way.
Okay, I feel like I jumped ahead or something there. Odd. Necromancer's done. Resurrection still has more to talk about. Encumbered. Alright, what was that?
Yes, resurrection. But now that I've seen the results,
I think is what I'm looking for. Or holy.
I think his brain was already decaying during the week that he was dead. Important bits. So when I brought him back to life, I didn't heal him completely. Just gave him life in the state he was in. I mean, he's hunting and killing things and
He's
trying
what?
to roast them on fires he can only light with matches, but that's about it. He's your basic Neanderthal. So I have a problem.
Do you want to kill him again? Like, what?
I'm being charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive, and I can't get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions than answers, which is why I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me.
Uh-huh. Help you. Help me. How can I help you?
Considering the circumstances, I'd be grateful if you could see your way to declaring me temporarily insane at the time of the murder, to lessen my sentence. Because I'm not a killer, but I can't prove otherwise. You don't still think I'm a killer, do you, Doctor?
I mean... Have you seen your arrest report?
It makes for interesting reading, doesn't it? I can tell you're dying to ask me about it. Fire away.
Oh, okay. I thought I already... Dead man...
That's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know he's alive.
Right, which she explained. What about the
A
paper
paper
spike
spike
from
is an odd thing to use as
Dekker's
a weapon.
murder?
I suppose if it went directly into the heart, it might work. Or through his eye, or perhaps through the ear into his brain. Or was it just a frenzied, bloody mess of a murder? Do you know, Doctor?
She's way too into that.
He's buried at Henley Church. You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him.
Oh, she got what's-his-face to bury Bryce. That was the casket that he said was empty, but he also said that Dr. Dekker's was too light. Interesting. Didn't I ask
I've been
how
to the
are you?
lake house
I guess I
regularly,
didn't.
keeping an eye on David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about. She was playing outside.
Right, let's ask more about the girl. Girl? Playing outside. Damn it. Alright, apparently not important. Are you still a killer? I mean, yes, you are. Even if it was a moment of passion, you're still a killer.
At worst, it's manslaughter. I didn't mean to kill him. I just stabbed him a bit. And although he was dead for a week, I brought him back to life. Does this mean you won't help me? Was I temporarily insane?
I don't believe she was, to be honest. There's a moment of passion, but... Bryce buried David. What happened with Ben? Let me ask about... Okay. I'm going to talk to Bryce and come back. I'm curious. What about David? Pallbearer.
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer. There are a lot of health and safety considerations. Not everybody can do it. Well, properly at least. Occasionally I step in if the funeral director is short-shouldered. I do remember her face. She wasn't upset in the usual way. She seemed agitated. Her husband must have been a giant. The coffin was so heavy. I remember because aft port side sprained his ankle. That and he wasn't lifting correctly.
Port side?
I find using nautical terms to describe the position of pallbearers fitting. Plus, most of them are 3 sheets to the wind. You know, drunk.
Fair. Heavy. Coffin?
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire Castleford's husband in the coffin myself before carrying him to the grave. He is in the ground. I'm sure it wouldn't take much for the police to get an order to have him exhumed. Just make sure it's done on Tuesday morning when I'm off.
What a dweeb. Okay. In that case, let's go back to Claire. I think you
I'm going to pretend that I didn't hear that. Let's have a few more sessions before you seal our fates. Or is it that you want something else? Like Dr. Dekker did?
What did Dr. Dekker want?
Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my eligibility. He didn't believe I'd reanimated David. Once, he presented me with a dead mouse and commanded me to give it life again. I didn't, of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly. He changed his mind about me eventually. And then he mentioned the girl.
Is this the girl you saw? Mention the girl.
Dr. Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house. He saw that I was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like. Would you like to see David, Doctor?
Why can David only appear at the lake house is my question.
He told me he'd locked up a girl in the basement of his house.
I'm sorry, what?
Just for me. And he asked me to reanimate her.
Ew.
It was Iris. I said I couldn't reanimate something that wasn't dead, and he said that wouldn't be a problem. So I agreed. I just played along. I was hoping it wasn't real. I assumed it wasn't real. But he was offering me what I wanted. A temporary insanity diagnosis.
Kind of fucked up.
Very well. In our next session.
Hi, I'll be able to see David. Haha. And then I don't know if I need to ask this question because I already know, but I'll...
Bryce was a
I guess.
pallbearer for David. He's also a gravedigger, I believe.
Yep, already knew that.
Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult, unless you pay the right people. I didn't speak to her this time. Something about her made me feel uneasy. I just watched her from the bedroom window. She'd caught a fish. She was holding it in her hands.
Fish?
I wasn't close enough to see, but for all intents and purposes, it looked as if the fish bit her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
What?
You tell me. What could possibly explain that?
Magic. No. America. No. Nano machine, son. Damn.
I assure you, David is not a ghost. I've touched him. Since I brought him back, I felt that there was something different about him, something not quite right. I think it's his brain. But how ludicrous that you can bring someone back in the first place. It's like that book, Pet Cemetery. Funnily enough,
it is
he
like
does
Pet
smell of
Sematary?
earth, but that's because he spends most of his time out hunting.
Yeah, what is a hunting? I'm worried about that.
If David doesn't exist, then that means that I really did kill him. He really is buried, and I really should be going to prison for a very long time. That just doesn't seem right to me. It's more probable that I reanimated him under Dr. Dekker's guidance.
If you're under extreme duress, you might think that.
How astute, Doctor. Yes, I did say I hadn't seen Dr. Dekker outside of our sessions. That wasn't a lie. Our trip to the lake house was made during a session.
Okay. Let's go back to Bryce.
Hello, Doctor. I've been thinking about our last session, and I just wanted you to know that I'm not a bad person. I know taking naked photographs is wrong, but you don't know what it's like until you face the same temptation. I'm assuming you don't know what it's like. Do you have an extra hour, Doctor?
I do not have an extra hour, but that doesn't mean you're not. You are a bad person. Damn it. What can I ask Bryce about? Oh, let me just ask about the steak knife. Murder? Oh, it was a paper spike, not a... Right, steak knife was something else.
Dr. Dekker frequently used that paper spike on his desk as an example. I'm sure he did it with the other patients too. He'd make me look at it, touch the point to see how sharp it was. He'd tell me that because I think it's sharp, it will hurt me. But if I thought it was nothing, it could pass right through my hand.
Huh.
In the last couple of sessions I had with him, he put the spike through his hand. He'd be grinning at me while he was doing it. No blood, no nothing. He tried to make me do the same, but I wouldn't.
No blood.
When I looked back at my hand, it was healed. Look, see?
But, wait. But he said he wouldn't do it. Wait, okay, I did something out of order again. Smuggling bodies, good point. Are you lying about smuggling? No. No, I don't have an extra.
Thank God for that. There's someone else.
In fact,
my
I just
tower.
lost an hour.
A hooded figure.
I'm sorry. What?
Watching me and following me.
Well, this is new.
I followed it too.
Hooded figure.
I don't know who it is. My initial thought was that it was you. That I told you about my affliction and somehow you'd got it too. Now I think maybe it's the military or some organization that wants to use the hour themselves. Maybe it's Dr. Dekker risen from the dead. I need to talk to you about him.
Wait, who could possibly raise someone from the dead? Wait a minute.
I spied on Dr. Dekker not long before he was murdered. I'm not sure I should tell you what I saw in his basement.
Was it Iris? Because I already kind of know that. Girl in basement?
I'd been feeling uneasy with Dr. Dekker for some time. I mentioned how he'd changed before, so I began spying on him at home. One night, the basement door was open, and Dekker was returning upstairs. I skipped past him, and there she was, a girl. It was difficult to tell. It was dark, and she was chained.
Okay. Dark.
I'd been feeling uneasy with Dr. Dekker for some time. I mentioned how he'd changed before, so I began spying on him at home. One night, the basement door was open, and Dekker was returning upstairs. I skipped past him, and there she was, a girl. It was difficult to tell. It was dark, and she was chained.
Okay, so I wrote chained. That was nothing. Girl was nothing. Oh, what did you do?
I removed the chains, dressed her, and sat her in the police station. There's no evidence, though. No evidence of what he'd done. But she was free. I saved her. I'm not evil. I destroyed evil.
I guess.
Whatever it is that's following me, it doesn't want to catch me yet. If I move towards it, it runs away. And when I follow it past temptations. A bar brawl, an open till, an open bedroom window. Like it's testing me.
Huh.
I think that I'm becoming a good person, Doctor. I'm ashamed of some of the things I've done, but I'm getting better. The hooded figure, it's testing my morals. Judging me. For what? I don't know.
What about the bar brawl?
I split the brawl up.
Neat. Open till?
I did nothing. I'm not stealing anymore.
Open window?
I looked in. Watching other
'Cause you're a
people is
pervert.
somehow built into our genes, Doctor. There was an old woman in bed. I went inside. Her bed covers were smoking. I think she'd fallen asleep holding a cigarette. I took the covers and put them in the bath. She'd have died otherwise. And no, I didn't take any pictures. I'm surprised I haven't been approached earlier. I mean, my skills in the military. Special ops would be a breeze, wouldn't it? Waltz in past everyone during the midnight hour, get whatever you want, and return to friendly soil. It also makes me think that they might already know all of that, and that they want to get rid of me in case I tell anyone else. Would you do something for me if they get me?
Aren't you being a little paranoid? Okay. Yeah, sure.
Would you tell Jessica I love her? She didn't really know me that well, but I did love her. And also, there's a hard drive in the bottom drawer of my drinks cabinet. Please destroy it. Please, don't look at it.
Is that all of his porn? God damn it.
Jessica is a beautiful woman. I've not spied on her since the incident we talked about. I have real feelings for her, Doctor. We've never connected. Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. It's nice you think I'm capable of such basic interaction with females.
Oh, he uses female.
But I'm still in awe of her, really. I will think about it.
Makes sense for this character, though. Kind of a creepo.
I put my hand through a rusty nail at work today.
Oh,
It hurt like hell and bled like I'd been shot. I closed my eyes and thought, this isn't happening. The nail is just a worm, and it will wriggle through me. When I looked back, can you guess what I saw?
Okay, and this is where I found out that his hand healed.
My
Got
hand
it.
had healed. The nail had become a worm and was wriggling in my palm. It was like a little miracle. Like magic.
Okay, that makes sense. And that's when I type magic.
I
Got
shouldn't
it.
really say miracle or magic. They're words that Dr. Dekker used when he tried to get you to think things and make them real. But do you think it's real, Doctor? That magic is real?
No.
And so it isn't. I envy you, Doctor. I wish I could be so sure.
Alright, let's go talk to Jaya some more.
Doctor, if you don't want it, don't text me and ask for it. It's all right. I don't mind doing menial tasks for you. Someone has to do them.
Wait, I texted her?
Well, maybe someone sneaked your phone during a session and texted. I know they all look innocent, but if it's not nailed down, there's a good chance they'll walk away with it. You know, I used to have an iPad and a Surface.
Okay.
Yes, Dr. Dekker started doing home visits for Mariana. He said she
He
couldn't
started doing a lot
concentrate
of home
properly in his
visits.
office. I hope you're not thinking of doing the same thing. I need you right where I can see you.
Yeah, so Mariana did ask us to do a home visit, and I told her, hell no. Use some sea siren. No, thank you.
Checks and balances, Doctor. Somebody needs to be watching the watchman, so to speak. Make sure you're helping, not hindering.
Is that your job?
He probably did his fair share of helping and hindering. He was definitely helping in the beginning, but then seemed to lose sight of things.
What else we got? Right, she said lose sight of things.
I think he was so overwhelmed by the patients he was getting. His curiosity just got the better of him. There was a definite turning point.
Alright, what was the turning point?
Somewhere around the time Professor Alderby turned up, that seemed to unsettle him. And then we had a flood of extra weird patients. I think it was all too much for him. I think I misjudged him. I hope you deal with it better.
Right, so Alderby is the dude who was talking about Cthulhu. Okay.
It's in that police report that I gave to you. You should really take a look at it. Some mornings I come into work and still expect him to be here. Sometimes it feels like he actually is here, watching over me.
Like a ghost?
We had a connection. It's gone now, though. You can't have a connection with the dead, can you? Not for too long, anyway. Dr. Dekker asked me to have dinner with him for Valentine's. I
How many of
refused,
his
obviously,
patients was
because
Dr.
you
Dekker
don't
trying to
sleep where
sleep
you eat
with?
or something like that. But it was flattering, especially with competition like Mariana around.
Right. Ask Mariana about Dekker's visits. That makes sense.
I think that's all settled now. We are agreeing to pay Ben £5,000 and he's agreeing not to say anything about what he saw.
Okay, good. What did Ben see?
He thought he saw a creature
A creature?
coming out of Dr. Dekker's mouth. Well,
Oh.
At least that's the reason he's given for not emptying the bins that night. Either way, it's not the kind of publicity that we need. Shiny, happy, sane people.
A creature? Out of his mouth? Shiny, happy people?
I was at home on my lonesome, Doctor, like I said before. Sorry, I didn't mean I was competing. I was happy Mariana was going out with him. I didn't want to be romantic with him. We had a stronger connection than that.
Oh,
Dr. Dekker and I shared some philosophy. We'd both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind, and we agreed with a lot of what it said. Have you read that book, Doctor?
I have not read that book.
In Cult of the Kinetic Mind, the author suggests that everyone is capable of psychokinesis and that the cult leaders specifically had these powers that turned their followers into disciples. It's not a fun read, but if you're into psychology, it's a blast.
Kind of like Dr. Dekker's patients?
Followers and disciples have a very strong tie to their cult leaders, almost like they've been brainwashed. The author suggests that this is because they've witnessed some kind of psychokinesis, like pyrokinesis or telekinesis. Like I said, all those cool things are in Cult of the Kinetic Mind, apart from Kojak, obviously. If you ever get a patient who thinks they can change the world with just their mind, then duck, just in case they can. But seriously, do a whole load of shrinking and make them better. Whether you believe in psychokinesis or not, you'll need to figure out your approach with those that do.
And we have a bunch of patients that do. Oddly enough.
Psychokinesis is the ability to change the physical world without actually touching it, just by using your mind. It's not just about bending spoons. It covers all sorts of things like telepathy, telekinesis, telesabalas. Shoot me, I'm a Kojak fan.
Kojak is a very old show for old people.
How do you make people who think they have special powers better? Do you remain passive and support, encourage them, take them away?
Well, encouraging their powers is a bad idea.
Things could escalate. Building trust is one thing, but at what cost?
Yeah.
No, not at all in my experience. Dr. Dekker had an unusual number of patients who claimed psychokinesis. Either he'd been specifically looking for them or someone had been sending them. It's entirely possible that someone is targeting this practice with psychokinetic patients. To what end, I don't know. It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic patients are diagnosed as insane, or at least temporarily insane. It's a handy diagnosis if you're facing criminal prosecution, especially if it's for murder.
Wow, what a oddly specific thing to say.
Grief is such a strange word if you keep saying it. Grief, grief, grief. It sounds like somebody's being whipped. And you're gonna ask me how I feel today?
Yes. How do you feel today? Grief, 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 grief. Okay.
Oops, that was a strange thing to say, wasn't it? Whipped. Am I all whips and chains in the bedroom or dominant in the boardroom? Don't answer that, it's not a question.
I'm sorry,
It's early
what?
days for a harassment suit yet.
That's
what with
true.
Ben's nervous shock already. Honestly, I think Dr. Dekker had a bit of a crush on Mariana, or vice versa. I'm not really sure. There's some footage from their home sessions if you want to see them.
I would like to see. Yes, show me the.
That was a joke, Doctor. I guess we found our level.
How was that a joke? I need to see this.
I didn't really speak to Nathan that much at all, but I have this strange feeling that I know him really well. I can't quite put my finger on it.
So that's probably because Nathan and her have interacted, but only during the loop days.
Dr. Dekker did send me to see his mother once. She was dying in a nursing home and he didn't want to see her. I remember him calling her a manipulative, evil old hag. You tend not to ask any more questions after that.
Alright. I haven't talked to Warwick yet. Let me go. Who's Professor Warwick? Who are you? Who are you?
Professor Warwick, I'm a physicist. Where's Dr. Dekker?
Dekker is dead.
Is he really? Actually dead? Not a worthy adversary after all, then?
Adversary?
Dr. Dekker challenged me. He tried to use my theories against me. Quantum theories.
Okay.
Do you really want to know? Dekker's eyes used to glaze over whenever we talked about that. He didn't believe in quantum physics. As if it's something that you can optionally believe in. Well, it started with an experiment.
Okay, what was the experiment, my dude?
Have you heard of quantum suicide, Doctor?
Is that like dying in multiple universes? No, I have not.
Quantum suicide is a thought experiment that tries to explain the many worlds theory. You're looking at me blankly. I can see that you don't understand. I knew you wouldn't. Alternate universes.
Yes,
Essentially,
okay, that I understand.
If I were to shoot myself, then in some alternate universe, I'd still be alive. Now imagine if I could actually choose that universe. I'm taking a product off a supermarket shelf. Well, I simply applied that logic to something different. Gambling.
Oh, you son of a
I
bitch.
set up an experiment whereby I would visit a casino and place a very large bet at the roulette table. Now, I would always bet on odd. Now, the results of this particular experiment were mundane. I won as many times as you would expect according to the laws of probability. But then, I changed a parameter.
Did you die? How are you here then?
Quantum suicide required a loss of life to make it a realistic thought experiment. So I simply upped the stakes. Every time I bet on odd, I would place everything I had on that one spin of the wheel, and it worked. Well, for a while.
Okay. What happened next? A while? Oh, what do you want?
Dr. Dekker killed it, and I can't get it back.
Okay.
Well, my theory, quantum gambling. If the stakes are high enough, you will win every time by simply shifting your consciousness into that branch that wins. It's tricky, but it can be done. But Dr. Dekker didn't like that. He saw me becoming rich and powerful, and he hated that. That's why he proffered the Hangman's paradox.
Wait.
Why not gambling? My wife Vanessa left me for a neurosurgeon. She emptied our entire combined wealth into her barrister's wallet. I needed more money. Physics provided me with a solution.
I don't think physics works that way. In fact, most of the time when you go into physics, you still need more money, because, as it turns out, majoring in physics doesn't mean you're going to get paid jack crap. There's no job for that. There's teaching at a university, and that's about the end of the road. I am a physics minor. I know this. Hangman's paradox.
Well, imagine a judge sentences you to death. Now, it will be Monday or Tuesday next week, but it will be a surprise. Well, which day do you think you'll be executed?
Does it matter? Who cares? Fuck if I know. I'm gonna say Wednesday. That'll show you. Sunday. Whatever, man.
Well, it can't be Tuesday, because if you're still alive on Monday at midnight, then you know you'll be executed on Tuesday, so it won't be a surprise. Conversely, it can't be Monday either, because, well, you'll be expecting it to be Monday by deduction. Hence, a paradox.
But that's not a paradox, that's a logic puzzle, and a bad one.
He told me that sometime in the future I would lose a bet, that I would lose all of my money. Now, this didn't seem likely because I had quantum gambling on my side and it was working. But he unnerved me. He made me doubt myself. And then it happened. Recently, I lost everything that I'd managed to build up since Vanessa left me.
Okay, but my dude, you didn't have quantum gambling, you just had an extreme amount of luck. The thing about luck is that it doesn't follow the bell curve of what you would expect for expected values of that luck. There are extremities to that. There's extremes. Have you never played a fucking card game or rolled a die? Flipped a coin? My dude, that is not how this works. You're a physics major. You need to talk to somebody that was in statistical analysis.
Honestly? Well, I think he feared quantum physics. He didn't like things being explained in terms of science. Almost as if he'd have preferred chaos.
Chaos? Oh, me and my dudes are gonna get together and kill chaos.
We were married for 14 years, 7 months, and 3 days. Vanessa couldn't have children. At least that's what she told me. She grounded me in reality. I'm not complaining. It's probably what I needed. But part of me always thought that one day I'd achieve immortality through science.
Science!
It wasn't to be, though.
Psychokinesis. Shit. Oh, I should ask him about the paper spike. Doesn't know. All right.
Well, yes, it
Children,
bothered
I guess?
me. Especially now that I find out that she's pregnant. Oh, no, it wasn't a rocket scientist that was required, but a brain surgeon, it seems. I have considered putting that neurosurgeon onto his darkest timeline. But I'm not a killer, it would seem.
Okay, so...
I was at a fundraiser for a charity called Mindstretch Outreach. Don't know how I got roped into that, I can't remember. But it was full of very clever children with bizarre outlooks on life. And Jaya. It was Jaya who asked me to go.
something outreach. Mind stretch outreach. 1 second. Okay.
Oh, she's Dr. Dekker's lovely assistant. I imagine she's your lovely assistant now. Yeah, she always smiles and makes me a cup of tea before a session. That smile. Which reminds me, my session. Can we talk about my problem now?
Oh, you're not understanding how probability works? Sure.
It's full of poor kids with very capable minds. I did give them a talk on quantum tunneling once, and they loved it. Not sure it'll put dinner on the table for any of them, though. Oh, you're going to have to Google that, Doctor, I'm afraid. I'm not a walking Wikipedia. I'd love to tell you, but I am paying you by the hour. Maybe look up Schrodinger's cat whilst you're there.
No.
I'm not a gambler, Doctor. I'm a scientist.
Who gambles?
I need more money.
By gambling.
It's true, I've run out of money for my research.
Because you gambled it away.
An opportunity has arisen.
To gamble. Yeah, uh-huh.
A very wealthy group of individuals have offered to pay me a very large sum of money if I attend their next private soiree. They don't want a talk or anything like that. They want a practical demonstration.
Oh, of your quantum suicide thing?
They'll pay me £1 million if I can successfully survive 6 rounds of Russian roulette. Now, I
Squid Game.
am worried because of what Dr. Dekker said, but, well, I can't help but thinking that the stakes are so high I can't possibly lose. What do you think, Doctor? Should I take them up on their offer?
Squid Game. That's Squid Game. I know Squid Game.
No, I suppose you're right. In a darker timeline, you probably said yes, and I'm dead now.
Correct.
And good money where I work. How do I stop losing it?
Well, first you need to know somebody who's rich. And then use all of their influence to get popular. And then you need to claim that everybody who didn't go that path needs to work harder. Stop gambling, you weirdo.
I take your point. But I suppose to decide whether to continue gambling or to stop gambling is a gamble within itself, isn't it?
No, it's a decision.
Well, my time is up. Will we be having another session or... No, don't answer that. It'll turn you into a gambler like me. Infectious. Isn't it?
Okay, buddy. That dude needs help. Good thing I don't have to deal with that. Alright, Ellen. Hello, shapeshifter.
I'm fine. Work's fine. Hilda's fading fast. Terry's... Terry. Oh, you'd be pleased to know I don't have the locket anymore.
I noticed that.
I gave it back. All of it. Every single keepsake.
I almost think, like, if I told them to do all the weird shit, like, how weirdly... supernatural this game would get. Curious. Here we go.
You told me to.
I did.
Well, not in so many words, but you said I shouldn't have kept them. And what with Terry going around telling everyone I stole them, I didn't feel like I really had any choice. The lockets, the watch, the ring. But I kept the little bird Sarah Dekker gave me. I wasn't supposed to mention her.
Oh, Dr. Dekker's wife.
Dr. Dekker's mother.
Or mother, okay.
She was one of my first patients, but she died a while ago.
How did Sarah Dekker die? No. Right, Terry and Hilda.
Terry seems to have backed down since I gave the keepsakes back. Actually, it doesn't seem like she's been very well.
Oh, almost
Not her
like you're an
usual
angel
self.
of death.
Maybe she's got a bug or something.
Yeah, almost like everybody around you dies. Weird. What about Hilda?
Hilda's nearing the end. She's been sleeping a lot, not eating much. She hasn't been that argumentative either. Although, she did give me a vicious scratch yesterday.
Oh.
It was nothing. I was just trying to give her meds. It's hard, you know? I'm trying to help her, but she keeps fighting me. It'll be better after she's seen her daughter. I've decided I'm going to do it tonight.
Oh no.
She hasn't got much time left.
Shape-shifting.
You know the answer to that, Doctor. What have we been talking about? What can I do for Hilda that will make it all better?
Shape-shifting.
That's the plan. I know, it sounds unbelievable, like I'm making it up. I wish I could prove it to you somehow. We could try shifting now.
Yeah.
Think of someone you really love. It might help if you close your eyes. Are you thinking of them? Can you picture them? Okay, hold on.
Oh my god.
Sorry, I don't think it's gonna work. On the bright side, that probably means you're not gonna die anytime soon.
Yay. Probably.
It's true then. I'd heard Dr. Dekker was stabbed, but I didn't know for sure. It's weird that whoever did it would choose the paper spike.
We kind of know why they would choose it, because he would, like, fuck with his patients using that.
Dr. Dekker used to play with it in our sessions sometimes. You know, pick it up, handle it while we talked. I remember once, he pushed the spike through his skin.
Yep.
Yeah, this bit here between his thumb and his finger.
Oh god, that's a tender part.
He said he didn't think I'd mind the sight of blood being a nurse and all that, but
Ugh.
actually, there wasn't any.
Okay.
I was a bit freaked out. At first, I thought it was a trick. A magic trick, you know? Like some kind of therapeutic test. Show the patient this retractable spike and see how they react. But it wasn't. The spike was real.
Magic trick. How do you know it was real?
Dr. Dekker gave me the paper spike to try.
Right, because he was asking
It wasn't fake.
Bryce to do that also.
It was pretty sharp, actually. I don't know how he did it. He said he just thought that it wouldn't hurt him, so it didn't. It's tricky. I mean, I'll sound exactly like Hilda's daughter, but I try and keep it vague because I don't become her. I don't know what she would really say. I say things like, "It's okay, don't be scared, I love you, Mum," or "I love you, Dad." But it doesn't really matter what their relationship's like because it's not really them. I always do the Disney version. The best, most loving version. That's what my patients want to hear. And maybe deep down they know it's not the truth, but it's got to be better than the reality.
I guess. Not really. Right. I wanted to review the tape on...
You know the answer to that, Doctor.
Was this the one where she...
What have we been talking about?
tried to do the shapeshifting now?
What can I do for Hilda that will make it all better?
No. So it was this one.
That's
Okay.
the plan. I know.
I was
It
curious
sounds
if the little
unbelievable,
weird
like
face thing
I'm
happened in
making
the
it
tape
up.
as well, or if it's just something I'm seeing.
I wish I could prove it to you somehow. We could try shifting now. Think of someone you really love. It might help if you close your eyes. Are you thinking of them? Can you picture them? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, it didn't happen at
Sorry.
all on the tape. Weird. So it didn't get recorded. That's an interesting little detail.
Does it really matter if it isn't the truth? Isn't it worth it if it brings them peace? Tell me honestly, Doctor. Do you really think that what I'm doing is wrong?
Okay, so what she's doing is emotionally manipulating people as they're dying, which sucks. But in theory, she's not actually, like, hurting anyone, I guess.
Good. Because I really feel this is something I have to do.
It's definitely manipulation.
As far as I know, it only works on people who are close to death. That's the whole point of it. I have to hold their hand, and they have to think of the person, and they have to be near death. And those seem to be the 3 criteria. It just makes things complicated, doesn't it? I knew Dr. Dekker's mother before I started seeing Dr. Dekker. She's dead, and now he's dead. I'm sure you're going to have a field day with it. Yeah, that's the reason I came to see him. I knew she was dying, but he refused to talk to me unless I booked a session, so I did. And well, here we are. I told Dr. Dekker that his mum was dying, that he should see her before it's too late. But he wasn't interested.
Huh.
It wasn't like he hated her. It was just like, it wasn't important. He asked me to take care of it for him. He did send his assistant along to see her once. Sorry, your assistant.
Alright, I should ask Joy about Sarah Dekker then. Or not, I guess. Never mind.
It was about the 2nd, 3rd session we had. He said he could tell that I was a good person, that I wanted to help people, and that I should think really hard about how I could do that. That's how I discovered shifting.
Because she felt like if people could see their loved ones before they go, then it would be better.
All Dr. Dekker did was encourage me to
Right.
think.
Right.
But the shifting, that's all me. And my mum's a psychic, and my sister's an empath, but I was just ordinary. I always felt like I wasn't special, like I was missing out. But I wasn't. I just hadn't discovered what I could do yet. Sarah Dekker was one of the first ones I tried shifting for. To tell you the truth, I don't really know what an empath is. I should probably Google it sometime.
It's the second time the game has told me. I don't know, fucking Google it.
My mum's got these spirit guides and they tell her things. Mostly about my love life, it would seem.
Fair enough.
I didn't really know what I was doing that first time. I mean, I didn't actually expect anything to happen. I just thought, what would really help this woman? I thought maybe she would just imagine that he was there. But it actually happened. I changed into him, Dr. Dekker. It blew my mind.
So if she can change into Dr. Dekker, can't she also, like, fuck with the other patients and have shown up to meetings as Dr. Dekker? Interesting.
I'm okay. Thanks for asking. It's rent day, and I always feel a little blue on rent day.
Alright, what about that paper spike?
Dr. Dekker used to put my checks on that thing. I guess someone thought they weren't getting value for money.
Right, home visits.
Dr. Dekker suggested home visits. I think he was probably checking up on his investment. You're not thinking of doing home visits, are you, Doctor?
Alright, what about investments?
Aren't we all your investments, Doctor? All the time, all the energy you've invested in us? Seeing how we're doing, making sure we're growing correctly?
No. No.
Rent day is the day I pay rent to my landlady.
Down with landlords?
I've had no blackouts, and I haven't been to the beach since our last session. But I think I will today. Do you want to come with me to the beach?
Maybe someone should come with you?
Doctor, I think you're getting a little anxious. If you ever wanted to visit the beach, you can just turn up. It's not mine.
Yeah, you mentioned something beautiful at the beach.
You've got a good memory, Doctor. Let's talk dreams. Sometimes I'll dream about a light. Deep in the ocean somewhere. I head towards it because it's warm and glowing like a beacon. When I'm at the bottom, it's the most beautiful thing. Like a welcoming sun. Like I'm home.
Is there a kaiju in the ocean?
And then I wake
Or
up.
an alien spaceship?
It's so beautiful. Calls me. It's like I'm in a trance. What does the dream mean, Doctor? I guess.
Searching
I
for
hate
something,
being
maybe?
in the same place for too long. Maybe I'm always searching for paradise or something. I actually don't have a lot of money. Sometimes a therapy check would bounce, but Dr. Dekker would be okay with it. Oh, my checks are fine though, don't worry.
Oh. Sure.
I'm not broke. Men buy me drinks at bars though. Sometimes I'll get away with not paying at restaurants. Isn't that how it is for everybody?
See, I have a theory that she has like a charm ability. But also, like, dudes are fucking weird. I'll just buy things. Especially when they're trying to hit on women. It's gross and chivalrous or whatever, I don't know.
I mainly like drive-thrus. I don't like crowds, and I find it difficult to stay in the same place for too long. I guess I'm a fidget.
A fidget?
I never stay in one town very long. I get bored too easily. Once you've seen the same faces over and over again, you move. Like I said before, I like to move around a lot.
So why hasn't she moved on from here?
Crowds at nightclubs and bars are different. The lights are dim. You can slink around without attracting too much attention.
Okay. Why slink?
Sometimes I'll kiss a guy in a club, and then he just follows me.
Because you're a
Wherever
siren.
I go.
Yeah?
It's creepy. I don't want everyone seeing that. I don't want people to follow me. I'm not trying to get them to do anything. They follow me wherever I go.
Like the ocean?
Anywhere. Where do you think they follow me, Doctor?
The beach. The ocean. Famous Dave's barbecue. Restaurante. Mini golf.
It depends where they follow me. If they follow me home, they bang on the door for an hour or so, then leave. Other places, they just disappear. I don't see them again.
Disappear, huh? That sounds like a problem.
They don't just disappear into thin air. I think they return to the place I found them. But I've not run into the same person twice.
I'm not thinking of doing home visits, actually.
That's good. I'm not sure I can afford any more of your time.
So I was right about her power.
Are we still talking about him? And I thought you were just interested in me, Doctor.
And she's constantly flirting. What about that Cthulhu necklace that you're wearing? That's very obviously Lovecraftian in nature.
Yes. They follow me home. They're silent. It's like a trance.
What about steak knife? No. Oh, it wasn't the steak knife with him anyway. It was murder. But it was with the paper spike.
It's just good manners to accept when someone offers to buy you a drink. I'm a very good-natured girl.
Is it?
Don't you think I'm sweet, Doctor?
Yeah, this whole, like, very fake face that she puts on. Man. No, you're not sweet. I guess. I feel like she's definitely putting on a face. I know what her power is. She hypnotizes people and then they get dragged off to who knows where. And she's been flirting with you the whole time, including Dr. Dekker. I'm telling you, it's a siren. These questions? Sure.
I think you're falling for me, Doctor. Don't let that get in the way of helping me.
Uh-huh.
There was one guy, a real gym buddy. I let him into the bedroom, but nothing. Nothing I did would stop him just staring at me. It was creepy. I got him to follow me outside, and then I just shut the door.
Alright, let's go back to Nathan. He's the dude that's stuck in the Groundhog's Day loop.
I burned the photos of Hannah.
Right, we
It
told him
didn't
to
work.
do that.
I suppose because the loss was superficial. The next thing I burned was the rocking chair. That worked. I've been getting rid of her stuff ever since. There was a day when I attacked a Salvation Army bin, but I gave in.
I'm sorry. You should attack more Salvation Army bins, but maybe more metaphorically.
I accidentally put Hannah's diary into a Salvation Army donation bin. They're like huge post boxes with a circular tray that makes sure things spill to the bottom. I tried to get in to get it back, but I gave up.
Okay. What about that paper spike that Dr. Dekker was
I didn't
killed with?
notice Dr. Dekker had a paper spike. I haven't really seen more than a foot in front of me since Hannah died.
Oh, poor man. Right. Did Dr. Dekker call?
I've told you all I know about Dr. Dekker. He started out good, then turned a bit crazy towards the end. When you start giving people more problems as a therapist, that's a bit crazy.
Okay. Fair enough. Apparently, more problems, let's see.
I started out with depression. Now I seem to repeat days. Even if you don't believe the repeat days, then I clearly have extra mental health problems that he's given me.
Okay.
I read the last few weeks of Hannah's diary a while ago. I must have accidentally dropped in some clothes for the Salvation Army bin. It's funny, because I wasn't going to read it. She said she'd fallen out of love with me.
Aww.
That she was going to break off the engagement. That she didn't love me anymore. I regretted it.
Poor guy.
I regretted that I mourned for Hannah so long. I regret the grief. I regret all the days I slept through because of it.
Yeah,
Had I known she didn't love me anymore, things would have been different. I'm a bit angry now. If I had that day over again, I may just still pull out in front of the driver. I think that he possibly cursed other people, a bit like he cursed me. Sometimes you could see he was bursting to tell me about it, but he couldn't. He was ecstatic with power.
I think Nathan's probably the most, like, down-to-earth of the folks that I'm working with. Right, curse.
Ah, the curse. Or remembered. I was hoping you'd forget. It's going to sound crazy. Dr. Dekker said I would never be able to move forward until I came to terms with my grief. And so from this point on, I start to relive the same day over and over again until I made something of it. I believed him.
That's the psychokinesis they were talking about.
I didn't want to believe him. I remember I said, you can't just say things and they happen. He laughed and laughed. I think he was going mad. He said he'd give me a demonstration.
Alright, well, what was the demonstration, my dude?
He held his hand outstretched and told me to look at the flame. there was no flame. And then there was. He was holding a flame in his hand that had come out of nowhere.
Whoa, do you see that flame?
And he tried to hypnotize me to make me forget it. He held his hand outstretched and told me to look at the flame. There was no flame. And then there was. He was holding a flame in his hand.
Yeah, there's
that
no
had come out
flame
of
in
nowhere.
the replay, though.
And he tried to hypnotize me to make me forget it.
Yeah. Okay. It's weird that these never show up in the replay. But I also think that's intentional.
I didn't forget seeing the flame. He wanted me to forget it all, but I didn't. For whatever reason, he couldn't undo what he'd done. I was scared. I pretended like the hypnosis had worked. I was scared what Dr. Dekker would do to me if he found out I still knew. So I had to play along. Keep coming to the sessions. Pretend I hadn't seen what he'd done. It was awful, because I was suffering through the same days over and over again. But I couldn't talk to him about it, because he'd know. He'd become bored of me, so I got much of my insight from calls or messages he'd take during our sessions. I think because he hypnotized me, he didn't want to play with me anymore.
Now we're talking, Mama.
So I got basic therapist.
Basic therapist.
He told me lots of people get depression, to become more active, see more people. And although he wouldn't always be there to listen, Jaya would be.
So you had sessions with Jaya? Jaya said she doesn't remember you. That's weird.
Yeah, I talked to her quite a lot. I'm not sure how many days of that she'd remember. She seemed to care, which is more I can say for Dekker.
Let's go back to Jaya real quick. Nathan. Did you talk to Nathan? I already asked her. Okay, fair enough.
Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore? And thanks for the dating advice, by the way.
Yeah, no problem, pal.
I signed up for a dating website. It's a bit easy, to be honest.
Oh, poor
If
bastard.
I message something they don't like, I change it when the day replays.
Oh.
It's not very honest.
Oh no, I hate that. Oh, that sucks. No, that's a bad use of your power. Go back to not dating. Oh, jeez. No, I know it's not on.
If I'm being honest, I'd probably rather ask out one of the patients I've seen here. The friendly redhead with the accent.
Mariana? Absolutely do not ask out Mariana. You will be dead within days.
I didn't kill Dr. Dekker. I wanted to be as far away from him as possible. I don't know who did.
I believe we are out of questions. They're not green, so these aren't, like, exhausted. But I think any questions I have would have to be... review all the footage and type in every word until I find something that's different. Yeah, what about this basement, Iris? Bryce said that he removed Iris.
The girl who was chained in the basement. Her name is Iris. How do you know that? Not that it means anything. She wouldn't remember me anyway. Time was frozen.
Bryce saved Iris.
What? She was actually his prisoner. Bryce saved Iris? So that's 2 favors I owe Bryce now. And Iris? I'd probably have stopped her death if I'd known it was real. I suppose I should have a chat with her now.
You should, yes. other notes do I have that might be useful? I guess I should ask the other patients if they ever had a home visit. Okay. I think that's all I'm going to get out of this week.
You can stop looking at me like that. You've made me do this.
Do what?
And don't try and escape. You're all tied up.
I'm sorry, what?
Now tell me the truth. Is this a dream?
I'm sorry, what? Jaya, untie me. What are you doing? This is a dream. Yes, this is a dream.
That's a good doctor. Yes, it's all a big dream. So let's get down to business. Do you believe that people can have kinetic powers?
No? Although, so here's the thing. In the context of the game, they're showing me things that are goofy weirdness, and they're telling me stories that are outlandish, but seem probable given the acting. But when you go and review the footage, nothing that you see happening is actually happening. So I'm going to say no. Ah!
I think you like it when I hurt you, Doctor. That's a worrying sign. People obviously have kinetic powers. That's how I'm here, testing you. Now, how do we treat people with kinetic powers? Do we encourage them, or do we discourage them?
Clearly we discourage them.
Very good, Doctor. That's the right answer. Remember it, or there will be consequences. Now, since I'm here, let's have a little bit of fun. Shall we?
I'm
Doctor?
sorry? Excuse me? I need that tooth. Oh, no! You son of a bitch! There are no questions. Excuse me?
There's someone else in my hour.
I brought David back to life.
I removed the chains, dressed her.
It was Iris.
We could try shifting now.
Would you like to see David, Doctor?
Sorry.
We've both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind.
I'm not broke.
It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic patients are
Grateful if you could see your way to declaring me
insane, or at least
temporarily insane.
There was no flame. And then there was.
I'll kiss a guy,
I pretended like the hypnosis had worked.
and then he just follows me
Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore?
wherever I go.
I may just still pull out in front of the driver.
Interesting.
Morning, Doctor. You're looking a bit unwell. Are they getting you all wound up? Well, have a look at this. I found it in Dropbox. Apparently, Dr. Dekker lent Mariana some money. Sounds dodgy, doesn't it? I also got the toxicology report back from Officer Yates, and shocker, Dr. Dekker had... Sorry, you just have to read it. I should have spoiler alert tattooed on my forehead. And can we not do the grief counselling thing today? I'm all sorts of behind on work, and I'm getting more stressed out watching it all pile up. If you need anything, though, I'm here.
Interesting. All right. Let's call that here for today. Good bit of progress, I think. That chapter was a bit longer than the other ones.